Hello. So anyways, what were we talking about? And yes, after 6. All right, I'll go over the schedule one more little time. So quarter of, we're done. Quarter of 5. That's it. I go back and I load them up. They're loading. I'm doing stuff. And put up something, sort of like what Chris Hardball does, says something like the circus is in town. Let's play hardball. And I like to stay silent, before the show. Like when I do log on to see what we have, any kind of alerts or something like that. I just logged on, to see what happened. And Johnny stopped by this morning. He said fake news. I don't know what that means, but I think he knows. I mean, if he does listen to me, maybe he don't listen. Maybe he doesn't listen to the show. There is a good chance. There's a good possibility, and I know that for a fact. I know a lot of people are not, and that's fine. I'm still got to take care of myself. I still got to do what I got to do. I went this far with it, so let me explain. So yesterday, okay, what was I talking about with Crispo? He was, all right. We're talking about the immigration thing. All right, hospitality. Being being nice. I think I can't say that word for some reason. Hospitality. Can't say. All right, whatever. Being friendly, being nice, being hospitable. I don't know why I can't say that word. So, be hospitable. All right, we're gonna English class. I need a teacher. I'm gonna bring in my 4th grade teacher, Mrs. Flynn. Mrs. Flynn, I'm doing a show here. Very, very low ratings, stuff like that. How you doing? I'm doing good, Jerry. Remember that time in class when I was explaining to you about, well, since you're doing my voice, you probably wouldn't know that, but how, you pour water into a bathtub, and it's condense. We were teaching about condense, I believe, if I understand this right. How, after a while, the water gets cold. At first it's hot, and there's things, that make it get cold. But anyway, go on. I can't believe I thought you were going to be a big success, too. All right, so what were we talking about? So, all right, hospitable. And, all right, so anyway, I'm down here waiting for the peanuts yesterday. And this guy, with the bottles and everything, and a lot of them. One guy pulled up with a wet shirt. He had all his bottles. And the guy down here takes some time to open up in the morning. Very nice people. He was telling me about how he was in rehab in the Bronx. Not the owner of the store. I'm saying the one guy with the bottles. He said, I made a score one time with I think he said 3,000 bottles or something like that. I don't know, how many bottles he said, I guess it came out to be 152. He was down in Queens, for rehab. And I worked at Ewing House, so I kind of know, what they do, for his particular addiction. So that's what they do. They take out the book there, 12 steps, the thing, And so yeah. But he was talking about his score, $152. I said, well, how did you get all the... He said, because actually, when I was sitting there, because some guy in a big black truck pulled up and handed him some bottles. And he's telling the other guy, because, people that collect bottles, know each other. He's like, he just gave me all these bottles, I said, well, because he said he was in the Queens, and this one guy gave him all these bottles. And, so, I'm like, how did you get him to the store? Did you go, to a place that was close by or something? I mean, how do you transport them? What do you use, a wagon or something? Or I don't know. Like, I guess I could have asked if he had a car. I don't know. I mean, if he's collecting bottles, maybe. I don't know. We didn't get that far. But anyway, so I'm waiting for the store to open, so I walk around the block here, which, by the way, this is prime real estate development. This should have been like a place for the clubs, for a club and everything with the music and all that. But yes, that's stupid. Now I think about it. It's probably why none of my relatives bit at the idea. But I said, that guy down there, he's so lost. He's so lost, man. He's like, bands, man. Look how old he is and everything. He's talking about bands, nightclubs. Just because, he sang some karaoke songs. He thinks he's gonna be in there, all right, we got a band coming in. We got a band. Hi, who are you guys? We're Strutter, man. Jer, we're here for the concert. I'm paying you, man. I'm paying you. I don't want nothing free. Nothing free. Come on in, guys. Oh, shit, the door's locked. So anyway, I'm walking around here, and I see all these bottles, these cases of bottles. So I told the one guy with the shirt that was all wet, I said, there's bottles. He said, where? It was like gold and shit, gold. I contemplate this all the time. There's so many of them around here. So many of them. And yes, I talked to my mom about things I see on the internet. I said, California, you're gonna see they have stretches of miles, and they never show it on CNN or MSNBC like that. They never bother. Even when the campaigns were running everything, I said, just stretch. People just live out in tents, just all out in tents and everything. Now in the opener, I'm talking about way back in the '90s. I mean, didn't you think? And again, this is not being anti, immigration. I am an immigrant, born from immigrant descent parents, however you want to say it. Everyone got to start. Everyone came here, but it's different. It's why are people coming over now? I mean, you would think for opportunities. I mean, all through the 2000s, we had a recession, depression, the worst thing since the Dust Bowl and all this kind of stuff. And Obama had to take care of it, had to fix it, everything like that. But I'm saying, when we had opportunities, there always seems to be something, some kind of distraction, from fixing it. But that's what I'm saying. That's why we're here today. We're here with everything all upside down, everything you can think of. And Paul Ryan said something. That's they shouldn't be separated. No one should be separated. No one. None of this should be happening. None of this. But who are you going to put the blame on? You're going to put the blame on someone that wants it hey, come on. Let's do something. I mean, there's other factors that factor in, when you have, a place like this where it's just, things can happen. Things can happen. I mean, look at the Department of Human Health, disease control, all that kind of stuff. And I'm just saying, there's things that can happen, just when you had when the Ebola scare, Ebola, we had that one scare and everything, we have to keep track. There was they didn't even, no one even knew, it was just freely just going. Let's just say someone had something, and passed it on and all this stuff. I mean, how are we keeping track of all these things? Something to think about. I know I'm a blonde. I'm stupid. I worry about warheads being pointed and all that kind of stuff. That's crazy. I can't say he's doing the right thing by talking. Oh, a handshake. Oh, that's what they're going to concentrate on. That's why I couldn't figure out. What Cuomo with his points. Cuomo coming out with his points about why everything should be cleared up by now. Everything should be cleared up. There was nothing funny going on.